afternoon filled with fun and football.
Starting with the Kings of the North. The energy around DC and their bear snake, lemon-throwing fans have embodied the wild spirit of the XFL. The Defenders literally ran away with the best record in the XFL by leading the league in every major rushing category. And when things are going that well, why have one QB when you can have two?
King gets away, throwing across his body, end zone. No way! You cannot be serious!
DC does like their team name, Defend. They're second in the league in sacks and have more pick sixes than any team in the XFL. Some might call it manifestation.
Hey, you gotta manifest. I told you you're gonna make a mistake, and I'm gonna take it from you. That's what I did. Take it to the crib.
If the Sea Dragons had a kryptonite, it would be turnovers. But when you have Big Gucci DiNucci as the league leader in passing yards, a fade on the backside can change everything.
DiNucci, Gordon caught it! Gordon's backstepping! Gordon's gonna score!
Seattle has 3 wide receivers in the top 10 for receiving yards, with Ja'Cour Pearson leading the way. This team is high risk, high reward on offense, but with a defense that's allowed the least points per game in the XFL, you can feel comfortable knowing that they hold each other down on both sides.
The matchup will be epic, and on the sidelines will be Reggie Barlow, the coach of DC, joining us right now. Coach, appreciate your time. Obviously, going into the playoffs, my friend, looking at this, what's it mean for you as a coach to be in these XFL playoffs?
Yeah, we're excited about it. We're happy that we have this platform to be coaching in the XFL. Really happy for our players who've put in a lot of work, who deserve this opportunity to be playing on this platform. So we're excited for them. Our coaches have done a really good job of game planning for our guys. And, of course, they've gone out and played really well for us.
Coach, a little about yourself. Before you came over to the XFL, you were at Virginia State University, and you were able to win a championship over there, one Coach of the Year, and then now you're in the XFL. So you're accomplished and you have experience. So my question is, what's the difference between you from week 1 in the XFL from where you are now in week 10?
Yeah, I mean, it's still football, right? It's still blocking and tackling. Obviously, there are some different rules that we have here in the XFL, which we had to get comfortable with, and we have gotten comfortable with those deals. But, we've obviously grown as a coach as we've gone. We have some really good assistant coaches. Our coordinators are good coaches. We are able to learn from those guys as well. And then as we've went throughout the year, we've just made adjustments and, just got better as we went.
Well, one thing you guys have done incredibly well as a team is run the football. What are you doing that's helping you accomplish that?
Well, our offensive line don't get enough credit. Russ Arnfield coached those guys, and we've had a good mixture of guys in there, and these guys really play the game the right way. They've done a great job for us, and then obviously having Abram Smith, and then Tamu and Derek King also helps out in the running game, but up front, man, is where it is for us. Those guys have done a good job for us, and hopefully we can continue to do that.
That's a perfect segue into my next question. You got Ta'amu and King. You're running a dual quarterback system over here, not something you see often. How have you been able to accomplish that in the locker room and just on the field with that chemistry?
Yeah, well, both of those guys are tremendous guys, first of all. They're good football players. And the reason that it works is because they genuinely care about each other. They care about each other's success. They both want an opportunity to get to the next level. They respect each other's game. They just support each other. And that's upbringing. That's being a good person, being a good teammate. And we use this acronym, the DASH, D-A-S-H-H, and the S in that is sacrifice. And sacrifice for the sake of your teammate. So they've done a good job of that. And they got us where we are now because they're good quarterbacks. They can run it, they can throw it, and obviously they're good teammates.
You told me about Dash last week when I got to talk to you on Fitz and Harry. And my buddy Harry Douglas, my co-host every single week, when you hung up the phone, said to me, man, this guy's going to be on NFL sidelines. For you, what's next in your journey that you want to accomplish?
Yeah, I mean, I say, why not, right? Just an opportunity to prove that we can coach. A lot of times, obviously there's not enough minority coaches, head coaches in the NFL. And this opportunity hopefully gives everybody an opportunity to show that we were able to build our this entire deal, right? We got the director of player personnel, brought him on team operations. We was able to hire coaching staff. We was able to put our minds together to build our roster that we built. And then obviously being able to communicate, motivate, facilitate. We've been able to do all of that. And obviously it's not just me, right? We win and head coaches get a lot of credit, but our assistant coaches have done an outstanding job of Paul revering our message that we give to the team. Our coordinators have put them in great shape to make plays. But yeah, that would be an awesome opportunity if that came. Obviously, we're blessed to be here in the XFL and want to continue to take care of our business and continue to show folks that we can coach a little bit.
Something we've been saying on this show every single week, Coach, is that it's not just the players putting on film how good they are. Yeah. You're one of the success stories of what we've seen so far this year in this league. Mm-hmm. We appreciate your time. Best of luck in this game.
Hey, I appreciate you guys having me on. Thank y'all.
The history between these two teams go all the way back to Week 1, D.C. and Seattle. Final game of opening weekend. Big Gucci DiNucci got former NFL wideout Josh Gordon involved with a flip-TD. A dual quarterback threat. D'Eriq King would answer with one of his own. Battling back, the Sea Dragons come back. Ends with the DiNucci fumble to close the game. Heartbreak. DC opens the season with the 22-18 win. Then you pick it up in Week 8. Sea Dragons looking to exact their revenge against the Defenders. Down in the fourth, Seattle would cap off 18 points in the final frame. But a long DC touchdown and a sack on a potential go-ahead two-point conversion would help the Defenders sweep the season series 2-0 with a 34-33 win. All right, Scooby, I'm telling you, the superstars just keep coming and coming. Tom Luginbill joining us, friend of the show. Lugs, yes, always appreciate you. I need your brilliance, all right, just right out of the gate, because obviously we're going to get into both games, but we're going to start you today with DC Seattle, right? So the only team this year that managed to beat DC is an Orlando team that wasn't good. Yeah. What's the key to beating the Defenders?
They have to make mistakes that are uncharacteristic to their nature. And they did that on that particular night, leading up to that game, and that was our crew's game. The one thing DC had not done was anything to screw up and lose a game as a result of penalties or turnovers or missed kicking game opportunities, self-inflicted wounds. And on that particular day versus Orlando, they did all of those things. They missed a 26-yard chip shot. They had double-digit penalties. They turned the ball over multiple times. And Orlando, quite frankly, who had been playing poorly all year long, didn't make those types of errors. And so the way DC's been playing, in order to have a chance to beat them, I think you need them to help you a little bit. You need them to have a turnover or, to miss a scoring opportunity in the red zone, which they haven't done often. And now they're playing at home in a very, very difficult environment.
Well, Tom, they've been getting a lot of help at the QB position. We've seen DC run this two-quarterback system, and you know that old saying in football, if you have two quarterbacks, then you have none. But Ta'amu and King has worked out really well this whole season. How have they found success with this dual threat situation in the backfield?
Well, I think, and let's not forget about Abram Smith, too. It's really a three-headed monster. But where I think Fred Keiss, the offensive coordinator, and Reggie Barlow, the head coach, for that matter, deserve a ton of credit, is essentially they're running a college offense. If you watch them, they look like a college football team. And in professional football, you rarely have to prepare for defending quarterback run. You don't have to deal with zone read and quarterback counter and quarterback lead and all of these different types of things. Now, occasionally at the NFL level, you'll get a Lamar Jackson who will make some of those plays or a Patrick Mahomes. So they've created a lot of issues for opposing defenses. And they've done a nice job of kind of juggling and picking their spots when D'Eriq King goes into the game. Yep. And it's never scripted. It's just a feel by the offensive coordinator. And they've got two incredibly unselfish players. I think that's the other thing about Jordan Ta'amu and D'Eriq King. They love each other. They love this football team, and they're willing to do what it takes for the team to win, not just boost their individual accolades.
So let's look at the other side of this. We often say that DiNucci giveth and taketh away all at once, right? A lot of touchdowns, a lot of just poorly timed interceptions. What does Seattle need to do to get the best out of their quarterback?
He's like Oprah, right? You get a football, and you get a football, and you get a football. I'm stealing that from my partner, Stormy Bonantoni, so I can't take total credit. She brought that up to me one day. I'm like, oh, my God, that is brilliant. Here's the thing. I think Ben DiNucci, pound for pound, is probably the best player in the league. And for all of the mistakes that he's made and the carelessness that he's been with the football, I would say he's doubled those plays by bailing out Seattle with his legs and with his arms, when things looked bleak, looked like it was going to be a negative play. He is a master at creating and extending plays and making that last second play that you don't think is going to happen. The bottom line is, he is what he is. Like, I don't think you're all of a sudden going to go out and see him play conservatively, throw 4 touchdowns, and not turn the ball over at all. I don't know if that's in his makeup. So you've got to be willing to handle the bad with the good, and then put a lot of stock in your defense. And that's what they've done over the last 6 to 7 weeks. And bottom line is, I think they were at plus 11 turnover margin in the first 3 weeks. And now that number's gone way down. So they have done a better job in that regard. But this is who he is, and you're going to have to live with it. The good news is, it's probably good enough to potentially win not just this week's game, but potentially win an XFL playoff or a championship.
What I know, Lugs, is that there's only good with you. Will you hang out for a second? We're going to come back to you if you let us.
You got it, man.